Let us pull back the curtain even further, because what we just uncovered about the banking system, that was only the entry point, the surface level of a far larger, far more calculated financial reality. Think about this for a second. If banks are making such staggering profits off your parked cash, why are they suddenly offering you high-yield savings accounts, shiny new promotional rates, and 6% certificates of deposit? Why are they practically begging for your deposits right now? It feels like a generous gift, does it not? It feels like they are finally giving back, but in the world of high-level banking, generosity is an illusion. There is a hidden structural strategy playing out behind the scenes, a high-stakes game of corporate survival, and most people are walking right into the net to truly understand what is happening to your wealth. We need to run a forensic case study on a quietly terrifying event that shook the financial world. Cast your mind back to the spring of 2023, Silicon Valley Bank. An institution holding over $200 billion in assets collapsed in less than 48 hours. It was the second largest bank failure in American history, but here is the part nobody talks about. The detail that should send a cold shiver down the spine of every single saver. That bank did not fail because a bad actor ran off with the money. It did not fail because of some complex international fraud. It failed because it did exactly what every bank is trained to do. It took billions of dollars of customer savings and locked them into safe, low-yielding government bonds, and then interest rates shifted, the market moved. And when depositors suddenly asked for their money back, the bank did not have it. The money was simply gone, trapped in long-term financial instruments that had lost their value. That single event exposed the ultimate truth of the modern banking structure. Your savings account is not a safe deposit box. It is an unsecured loan that you are giving to a corporation when you hand your hard-earned dollars to a bank. You officially become their creditor if they succeed. They pay you a fraction of a percent if they fail. You are the one standing on the sidewalk waiting for a government bailout to make you whole, which brings us to a mind-bending open loop. If high-yield savings accounts are actually a trap, where is the smart capital moving right now? What are the ultra-wealthy doing with their liquidity while the general public is being lulled to sleep by 4% promotional interest rates? The answer lies in a powerful financial breakdown, a concept known as the asset-to-debt matrix. To see how this works in real life, let us look at a micro-story about two business owners, Elena and Marcus. Elena is conservative. She runs a successful digital marketing agency that generates $50,000 in profit every single month. Deeply afraid of market volatility, she sweeps every spare dollar directly into a high-yield business savings account. She looks at her balance growing, $600,000, $700,000, $1 million. She feels invincible. Then, supply chain costs spike, software subscriptions double in price. The cost of hiring top-tier talent skyrockets by 30%. Elena's massive pile of cash, while still showing 7 figures on her laptop screen, can suddenly buy 30% less equipment, hire 30% fewer developers, and command 40% less marketing power than it did 2 short years ago. Without realizing it, Elena's business was crippled, not by poor sales, but by holding onto cash. Now look at Marcus. Marcus runs a competing agency of the exact same size. But Marcus understands the hidden rules of capital deployment. When Marcus generates $50,000 in profit, he keeps only a lean, razor-sharp cash reserve for 60 days of operational expenses. Where does the rest go? Marcus immediately channels that capital into acquiring income-producing assets. He buys commercial real estate, leasing it back to other growing enterprises. He invests in automated equity portfolios. He even buys out smaller, distressed marketing agencies, acquiring their client lists, their proprietary software, and their cash flow. When inflation hits, something extraordinary happens to Marcus because prices are rising. The rents on his commercial real estate go up. Because the cost of services increases, the revenue of the companies he acquired surges, and because he used long-term, fixed-rate debt to buy those real estate assets. The real weight of his debt actually shrinks as paper money loses its value. Elena worked for her cash and let the system erode it. Marcus used his cash to acquire hard assets and let the system expand his empire. This is the exact strategy used by world-class corporations and billionaire family offices. They do not fight the system, they leverage the structural design of the economy. They know a fundamental law that most everyday savers overlook in an inflationary environment: cash is liability, and asset ownership is salvation. So, how do major financial institutions keep the general public from figuring out this game? How do they ensure a steady, uninterrupted flow of cheap deposits to fund their operations? They use advanced psychological retention tactics, anchored in two deeply human vulnerabilities: convenience and the illusion of control. Think about the user interface of your banking app. It is slick, it is seamless, it gives you instant dopamine hits. You send money in 2 taps, you view your balance with a fingerprint scan. Every design detail is meticulously engineered to make you feel connected to your money, to give you the psychological high of ownership. But that convenience is a golden cage. The bank intentionally makes it effortlessly easy to deposit money, and subtly inconvenient to move that capital into long-term wealth vehicles. They offer you automatic transfers from your checking to your savings, encouraging you to build a personal reservoir of idle cash that they can use to leverage their own investments. They train you to celebrate earning $300 in annual interest, while quietly making $30,000 on that exact same capital through private lending, corporate credit, and venture debt. It is a masterclass in behavioral manipulation. They reward you with pennies, so you never ask who is keeping the dollars. Now, you might be asking yourself if saving money in a bank account is a losing strategy. Does that mean I should completely empty my bank account tomorrow? Is cash completely useless? Here is where we reveal the ultimate strategic balance, the hidden mechanism that bridges the gap between total vulnerability and total financial freedom. Cash is not trash when it is used as tactical ammunition. The wealthy do not hold cash to store value. They hold cash for one specific purpose: opportunistic liquidity. They maintain short-term capital reserves not because they trust the bank, but because they are waiting for market dislocations. They are waiting for panic. They are waiting for the exact moment when the average person, driven by fear, sells valuable, high-quality assets at a massive discount. When the market dips, when real estate slows down, when stocks plummet, the disciplined investor does not panic. They step up to the counter, deploy their tactical liquidity, and buy generational assets for pennies on the dollar. To the average saver, cash is a security blanket that slowly rots away. To the elite investor, cash is a loaded weapon, held quietly until the perfect opportunity presents itself. It is time to reframe your entire relationship with money. Stop viewing your savings account as a vault for your future. Start viewing it as a brief layover, a temporary staging ground for capital that is waiting to be deployed into assets that you actually own. Look at your financial strategy today with complete, unvarnished honesty. Are you letting your life's work sit idle, funding someone else's balance sheet, or are you actively building a portfolio of assets that work for you? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even while you sleep, the choice is not between taking reckless risks and staying safe. The true choice is between taking calculated, intelligent risks to grow your ownership.